Yo, what's going on, homies? It's your boy Stumped back for another OPTC video, and in today's video, we're taking a look at the challenge intrusion battle against AKAINU over here on Extra Island before Treasure Map begins. And in today's video, I have 4 teams for you guys to take down this particular event. And I gotta say, before we dive into the video, like, this is probably one of the best things that Bandai's actually done for Treasure Map, giving us the intrusion fight as a fight, so we can test out some teams before we dive into Treasure Map. But hopefully some of these teams help you guys out. If they do, build the like button, hit the subscribe button, do all that good stuff. With that said, let's take a look at the teams, and then we'll dive into the content. As mentioned, I do have 4 teams for you guys to take down this question, and none of them use the new characters of the Verse, Whitebeard, Blackbeard batch, or Shanks, Buggy, and anything like that. But we are using some anniversary characters, and we are trying to include the highest amount of point boosters for you guys for the particular run. So the first team is the Luffy team, uses a Whitebeard friend captain. It's more of a free-to-play friendly team with some pay-to-play supports. The next team is the Beast Pirate team. It uses either a Whitebeard or a Blackbeard friend captain. You can literally use either. It works better with Whitebeard, but if you can't find Whitebeard, you can only find Blackbeard. This team should work for you. The next team is using a Shanks Buggy friend captain. Looks a little bit like this. It's nowhere near the most optimal team, but I wanted to include a Shanks Buggy run for you guys because you can save these teams, and then if you can't find friend captains, you can just use these. They all use a lot of 1.35 times boosters as well. And the final team is a full 1.35 times boosted team that looks a little bit like this with a friend captain Whitebeard. It's going to be the most optimal team to run, and you have some options of taking off stuff like Kaido and putting on the rare recruit Usopp from Anniversary with the Arena Franosuke support. That's a great option to get around the attack down if you're missing some of the supports like Smoothie and K-Dad and Chopper. You can also take off Alba on this team and put on the free-to-play Marco from the point boosting event as well, because he is another cooldown reducing support if you are missing something like Alba. So they're the teams. We're going to dive in and show you guys how they operate. Let's do that right now. First team is the free-to-play team with pay-to-play supports utilizing a Whitebeard friend captain, so let's dive in. Now, for this particular fight, Slashers, Driven, and Powerhouse characters get your cooldowns, but for the test, they just give you cooldowns for literally everyone. Versatility, you get 8 charges, you get 5 for your super swaps, and it looks a little bit like this. So, what you need to be careful of on stage 2 is you get 12 turns of despair on your friend captain, and then you get a bunch of blowaway on your captain for 3 turns. So that's why bringing Whitebeard as a friend captain is going to be the best option to get around this annoying shenaniganry, because he can have, he's immune to despair and immune to blowaway. With the Mistim support, we can actually use our Luffy special on stage 2 to give us the cooldown, and then we can pop the Whitebeard special to do the 1 million fixed damage, get the 3-turn chain boundary, and activate his ability to do a HP cut on the next turn. Now, you might think, like, why would you want that HP cut on the next turn? Well, it's going to be a little bit important because you are going to need it to get around stun. There is stun on the middle row, which is very, very annoying. You get a full board of block orbs, you get an attack down if you're below a 3.0 chain boundary, as well as a 7-turn attack down reduction. You also have to deal with 8 turns of damage reduction and 5 turns of defense up, which is very, very annoying. But thanks to the versatility of Whitebeard and Blackbeard, we can get around 3 turns of the damage reduction. Again, this is what makes Whitebeard so good for this fight. Plus, he gives color affinity and he has type advantage. We can then switch with our dual unit Big Mom. That's going to give us an attack boost and an orb boost. However, we do have Luffy's carryover, so there is that. We're then going to use our Robin special. Robin is going to set defense reduction at 80% and give us a conditional boost, but she can also remove some attack down, and she can remove the block orbs, which is great. Thanks to K-Dad on Momo, we can get around a bit more there. And then finally, we can use our Garp special to remove damage reduction by 4 turns as well. He can switch into the captain, and then he's a super type as well, so then you can switch back that way. You can activate Luffy's before you do this as well. You can remove more defense up there, so that way you get the 5 turns of defense up removal, and pretty much from this point, you're super hunky-dory. We actually have a super tandem as well with this particular team because we have a Luffy and a Garp on the squad. Garp's a powerhouse, he gets boosted that way, the side characters all get boosted. And this particular team, it should work fairly nicely. It's a pretty smooth running team. The free-to-play Luffy reigns supreme once again, and if you can find friend Captain Whitebeards, this team, it's fairly accessible. The next team is the Beast Pirate team, and with this particular team, you can either use Blackbeard or you can use Whitebeard as a friend captain. Either of them will work, and the idea of this particular team, I did want to showcase this because if you can't find Whitebeard friend captains, but you can find Blackbeard, you can rock this particular team. So the idea of this particular team is to get around the blowaway, we need to use Queen's Captain action first. Now, obviously, this team does use a lot of the Beast Pirates. This is the free-to-play Kaido, though, by the way. The one that we got from the Blitz, the 5+ Kaido. He's a 1.35 times booster. All the Beast Pirates are Queen, Jack, and King. And then we have Momo once again, because Momo's a 1.4 times booster. You want to try and include him as much as possible. So, to get around the special reverse, we're going to pop Alba here. If you guys don't have Alba, you can use the free-to-play Marco. He's a powerhouse character. He's an int unit. He will work on this team. He's just not going to be, like, super viable on this particular team. Just like the previous team you saw, we're going to pop Blackbeard here as well. Blackbeard special here works exceptionally powerful because you can easily wave clear that stage, and then you don't have to worry about the pacifistas. The pacifistas have a lot of HP. Now, if you're using Blackbeard, you are going to have to stall 1 turn on the final stage, which is a little bit annoying, but look, it's not the end of the world. However, if you guys are using Whitebeard, you won't have to stall, like, at all. So, that's always fun. So, because we're using Blackbeard as a friend captain, we are going to stall 1 turn. We have the page 1 support to get around attack down. We have the Mr. 3 support just to give us a little bit of damage reduction, because this stage will scale, and if you're looking at doing high nabs, this team is not going to work forever. It's the bottom line, but in the early stages, everything is a 1.35 times booster or higher, so that's going to actually work incredibly nicely. On the second turn, you get Despaired, and that's why Blackbeard works exceptionally well, because now it becomes a chain multiplier buff, which is awesome. We can then use Kaido for our attack and orb boost, which is great. That way we can get a 1 orb in him as well. We can then use Jack to remove 6 turns of the damage reduction. We can then use Queen to remove the defense up and give us a full board of tandem slots. And with the verse ability, you can get color affinity, but like it's really not going to matter on this team. For this team, though, you do have to tap with Alba first, because you do need Alba's super tandem ability. So that's where the differential comes into play for this particular build. However, if you have Tashigi, the Treasure Map Rare Recruit, you can use that on Momo to remove more damage reduction that way, and that actually works out just a little bit nicer if you guys are using something like the Marco on this particular team, or if if you just don't have Alba and you need to use something else. So that's the second team. Apparently you don't need the you don't need the page 1 support either. That'll sort of just go past. So that's only if you're using a Blackbeard friend captain. If you're using Whitebeard, you don't have to stall at all. You just run it the exact same way. The stun goes away and you can just bink it that way. So on to the next team. On to the third team now. We're utilizing Shanks and Buggy as a friend captain. Now, this is not going to work nearly as nicely as the other 2 teams. However, it is something to keep in your arsenal if you guys are looking for a team that uses Shanks and Buggy, or if you can't find Whitebeard and Blackbeard friend captains. Now, the idea of this particular team is we are going to utilize the Pika special on turn 1. That's going to kill one of the turtles. We're going to switch into Pika, and then we're actually going to pass a turn. We're just going to pass a turn here, because Pika is a 3-turn captain swap. We only want 2 turns of the captain swap, and then once we've sort of passed a turn, we can easily just sort of bink this particular stage, and we can move on to the next stage. The reason we want 2 turns is because when we enter this stage against Shootin' Maru, he's going to blow away our captain, give despair to our friend captain, but then the captain swap's going to go away, and then that way we get our friend captain, or our captain, Luffy Yamato back. Now remember, we're getting our full cooldowns here and full super swaps. In the actual content, you're not going to get this. It's unfortunate, but like you're just not going to get it. So what we're going to do here is we're going to switch into Luffy Yamato. You won't be in their dual form. You'll just be in their standard form. You're going to get a lower color affinity boost, but the idea is to switch into Yamato, so now you have some damage reduction. What we're going to do here is we're going to target the Pacifista in the back, which one? What's it called? The quick one. And as you can see, we have plenty of damage there to kill that Pacifista. That is going to reduce the damage that we take drastically, and that way we can stall out the special reverse. Once we do that, we do lose our bottom left-hand character for 2 turns, but that's okay, because we lost Pika for 2 turns anyway, so that's why Pika goes back down the bottom there. And then we can use Momo to remove the Despair. With Whitey Bay, we remove more Despair, and then Slashers get a Orb boost at 2.75. Guess what? Shanks is a Slasher, so we can switch into Shanks. That's going to give us resistance down and some tandem slots, which means that we can do a lot of damage on this particular turn. So what we're going to do here, we're going to focus on Shootin' Maru in the front, and then we're just basically going to kill here. So we're going to tap with Momo first, we're going to hit with Shanks, and then we should be able to kill, what's his name? Shudenmaru, and one of the Pacifistas. That's just going to leave us with one Pacifista left. That's going to help us stall out the, what's it called? The captain swap, and you're going to be pretty good there. Now, this team, obviously, you do want to bring the ship that makes it easy to hit perfects, because you do have to deal with remove sound effects. Like I said at the beginning, this is not an ideal team for most players, but it does use a whole bunch of 1.35 times boosters. It doesn't need that Whitebeard friend captain, and then that in this particular mode, you only have to do this every 5 runs, and hopefully it helps you out a little bit. Now, we do get stunned on our middle row. The pudding support is going to help us take care of that. We can switch back into Buggy. We're not going to have type advantage on this fight, but that's okay, because we're ideally building the team around the Dex color with the attack and orb boost of Luffy, Yamato, and Robin as well. We're going to use the Sanji special to rotate the block orbs. He can remove damage reduction and defense up. He can swap into our captain, and then we can use his super class to give it chain boost, take off the Dofu support. I totally spaced on that. You don't want the Dofu support there. Get rid of it. It's not doing anything for your team. So we're going to remove that. Then we're going to use our Luffy Yamato special. That's going to give us the additional damage. It's also going to give us an orb boost. And then Robin can remove the rest of the damage reduction, as well as give us an attack boost here as well. So with that, we're going to have plenty of damage to take this fight down. And this is the way the team operates if you are using a Shanks Buggy friend captain. Not ideal, but definitely an option for you guys if you're looking for something else to take this fight down. On to the final fight now. And the final team utilizes a friend captain Whitebeard, and there's a whole bunch of 1.35 boosters or higher. Now, like I said at the beginning, if you're missing Alba, you have Marco as another option here. If you're missing all of the attack down and reducing supports, you can easily replace Kaido on this team with the Usopp, with the Arena Frankie support. That is also going to work. So, if you're looking for other options for this team for the same amount of boosts, those particular characters are going to be your best friend. Kaido's just here because he's a powerhouse character. Honestly, Momo's only here because he's at 1.4 times boost, so you can easily replace those characters as well if you are looking for other avenues and other options to get around particular gimmicks. We get Despaired and we get the Blowaway on turn 2. That doesn't matter because we have Whitebeard as our friend captain. We can then use Alba to give us the cooldowns. Again, Marco will work great here, and then we can pop Whitebeard to just get rid of the Pacifistas in the back with the 1 million fixed damage, and we get the 3 turns of the chain boundary. It all works out pretty hunky-dory there, and as long as you get your perfects or you consume tandem orbs, you are going to have the versatility ready on the final stage too, which is always super hunky-dory. On the final stage, there's 7 turns of attack down, 8 turns of damage reduction, 6 turns of defense up, stun on your middle row, block orbs, and an attack down if you're below a 3.0 chain boundary. Very annoying stuff. So to get around this, we have a whole bunch of supports. As you can see, they're all proccing to get rid of the attack down. Again, Usopp with the Arena Frankie support is going to work exceptionally well here. To get around damage reduction and defense up, we have Sanji and the versatility of Whitebeard. It all works out pretty hunky-dory, but with this particular team, you don't want to switch captains. You say no to switching captains unless you're utilizing the Usopp on the team from the Rare Recruit batch. On the final stage, we're going to switch with Big Mom as well. That's going to give us an attack and an orb boost. We can use her special for base stats. That's pretty much all they're here for. You can get a Wano orb with Kaido as well. Like, that's just more damage, but it's really not super essential. And as you guys will see here, like, we're going to have so much damage to actually kill. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. So there you guys go. That was the ambush fight. A bunch of teams for you guys. Hopefully it helps you guys out with the new characters as friend captains, but none of the new batch. If you enjoyed the video, belt the like button, hit the subscribe button, do all that good stuff. Best of luck in Treasure Map. And I'll catch you all. Thank you for watching. Sorry. And I'll catch you all in the next one.